So to add on, I had the knowledge, right? Knowledge is the accumulation of facts. It's also conscious of awareness. So I became aware that the school needs more different generations to come and add on. So when I came to that awareness, I made manifest to my brother. That's wisdom. I spoke to him about that. Like, yo, what you think about that? Through our conversation, we came to an understanding. An understanding is a personal insight and mental clarity, but it's also a mutual agreement. So we agree, all right, this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to do it, right? Culture is the characteristic of everyday living by a person or a people. So through that, in our culture, which is supreme mathematics, we have a way of doing everything in its proper place and what? Order. So we ain't just come here and say, we're going to do the class and just set up shop. We took everything to its proper order and talked to and built with what we had to build with to make this a reality. Then power. So now after doing that and making those contacts and have those conversations, now they was like, yeah, we have the ability to have the what? Class. Now that we're in class, it's what? Sharing. So like I even said, the class is more so dialogue. It's not just people teaching at you. It's everybody talking and coming and giving their perspective for all of us to have a greater understanding. And that's what sharing and the equality that you get to God, which is the Most High. God is someone who is an original man with proper knowledge himself, but also a man who makes his product his environment a product of him, and he's not a product of his environment. You know, so you changing the reality with around you, right? And now since we're all here, we're what? We're bidding. We're all adding on. It's not, like I said, I always tell people, student and teacher is one and the same. There's no separation with that. So there's no hierarchy, especially when this culture is no followers or leaders. Everybody has a position to play, and the position they play is the one they choose for their what? Own self, right? And then through us making these connections with the class, we building, we have a support system, and it'll be easier to destroy whatever negative influences or outside forces that may be holding us back to whatever things determine ideas we're trying to make manifest and bring into reality. They're born complete. So after we leave here, that's the size of, we took it from knowledge to born. The idea we had to have the class is completed once we finish the class, and then we just gotta keep, like you said earlier, knowledge of born, there's no end. The cipher, there's no beginning and end. You can't say where the cipher starts or the cipher ends. So we have to be infinitely creative, infinitely adding on to make things tangible. And that's how you show and prove your own what? Divinity. Because divine means what? Of, from, or like God. Supreme, the highest good, the supreme good. And it's nothing higher than what? Man, the highest form of intelligence. So, but before we get all that, there's even a Bible quote, to paraphrase, Jesus said, y'all asking about the heavens above, but y'all don't understand my teachers here on earth. You know, so a person's not going to understand. We're giving you the science of everything in life. You're not going to really understand the universe if you don't even understand the particular situation that you're currently in your own life, in your own environment. You know, so it's just the building blocks of teaching people. Okay, what is the mathematics really about? How to use it, how to make it applicable and practical.
Well, to add on to what my brother was saying. Like when it comes down to like having the awareness, right? So we was aware that the school needed more energy. So we brought the energy by bringing more activity, right? Cool. So when it comes to just wanting to be a better person, that same level of awareness has to be applied toward what? Ourselves. So a person had to be aware of themselves, their predicament, the people that they surround themselves with, what kind of job they have to become aware of their own self-image. And then through that, becoming aware of their own situation, how they see themselves, then they can start making the changes slowly and surely. But that doesn't come from not having the knowledge. You feel me? So in order for us to make things tangible, we have to have what? The awareness first. You know what I'm saying? We have to learn first before we can apply. You feel me? If we apply things without learning, then of course we're gonna mess up here and there. But if I just learn, if I see what you went through, I don't have to go through that same mistake.
Sometimes observation is better than experience. If I see somebody going through death and destruction, I don't have to go through it. And mathematics is the science of putting things in order, and order is a sign of intelligence. And if we're the highest form of intelligence, anything that we get into, we have to do the knowledge before we see if that's even worth spending our time. Because I can't put myself in a position and then something happens, I'm like, but, and I'm blaming other people. I'm a grown man, I make my own decisions. So if I make a decision to go a certain place and something negative happens, I am the creator of that, in the sense of I'm responsible for myself. I can't be like, oh, this fault. No. If I know this is usually in line with conflict, chaos and confusion, and I'll say I come in peace and I leave in peace, there's no reason for me to be a part of those type of environments unless I'm there to bring the peace there. So another thing about knowledge born, today's particular mathematics is, like I said, manifest. A lot of times people think manifest is just a thought, like, oh, I want a house, I want a car. But it's steps and stages. So even the process of anything with life, everything is steps and stages, levels, and layers. You're not just gonna get from 1 to 9. Or I don't know if people heard the saying, you can't get something out of nothing. Only life could give life to life. You know, so if we don't exist within, if we obviously our physical bodies with the right nutrients, it grows. However, a lot of people stop growing their mind. So you can meet somebody who might be, their age is 55, but how they act might be 16 because they stop growing at a certain age. But for a man to be in tune with ourselves, we need to be growing mentally and physically. We need to be born alive both. So born and physically happens on its own, but it takes us a certain type of effort on the individual to born themselves alive, because nobody could born you. Like the 19th alphabet is self-savior, and I always say, you can't really save nobody. You could teach them how to save their self. You could save yourself, and then you could teach them how the steps and stages and give them that good orderly direction. However, you cannot save them, because look, somebody gets in a negative situation, you save that one time, you save them the second time, right? Then the third time, what if you're not there? What's gonna happen now? You know, so sometimes, and it goes back, observation sometimes is better than experience, but some people, they only learn from experience. You know?
You must do your own research, as I did.
If Mecca did this.